Something that not a lot of healers open up about is the fact that we get so used to holding space for others, we get so used to being that healer role that we often will miss certain warning signs of our own triggers and our own traumas coming up to be dealt with until it explodes. And let me tell you, my boyfriend checked my little ass hard last night, and I love him for it. Because here's what happened. We got into a conversation, and it was a good hour-long tough conversation where I was in my head thinking that he was no longer interested in pouring into the relationship, that I was the one doing all the work. And all this came down to really was a miscommunication of love languages. I'm a words of affirmation kind of gal. He's a quality time guy. And so we would come home and we're at that 2-year point where things are getting nice and comfortable, you know? So we'd come over to each other's house, watch some TV, cuddle up, and everything was really good and peaceful for him because he was getting that quality time. Me, I wasn't getting the word cookies I needed to feel connected on a daily basis, and I didn't see it. So we have this conversation, and here's where things took a turn in Chelsea's world. Because I thought this was going to be a healing conversation, you know, for both of us, but I did not realize that my trauma was going to come up and say a big hello. So what ended up happening was I said, look, I never want a mediocre relationship. I don't want us to get to the point where I'm even getting emotional talking about it, to the point where we wake up 20 years later and we haven't grown, we haven't changed, we haven't done anything but sit and watch TV together. And all of a sudden the connection's gone. He said, I don't want that either. I said, okay. So the first checkpoint was when he then said, but is it okay, Chels, to just enjoy the phase that we're in? Do we need to keep rushing to the next phase? Do we need to keep rushing to keep things exciting and interesting? And I said, okay, I guess it is okay to enjoy life as it is. And then he really got me when I told him that, look, you got to understand, honey, I came from relationships where the guys I dated really didn't care about me. They just wanted a female type person to be next to them and tell them they were hot and, you know, take care of them. But they really actually weren't interested in me or the relationship. They just wanted what was easy. And that actually created a trauma in me that I did not see or recognize. So I told him that here's my pattern. When I start sensing that the relationship is getting complacent, I kick into gear and I will start coming up with ways to pour into the relationship, to keep it fun, to keep it fresh, to keep it exciting. And I thought I was telling him something great. I thought I was telling him, like, here's the thing, here's what's great about me and how I'm gonna pour into our relationship. And he came back with, now wait a minute, Chels. You're telling me that you start sensing when things are getting complacent. You start sensing when things are not good for you. I said, uh-huh. He said, and you don't tell me about it. And I said, uh-huh. And then you come up with a plan. And then you start implementing the plan without letting me in on any of it. And then you get bummed when I'm not on board with the plan. And I said, no, maybe a little bit. Yeah. So the moral of the story is, if you have a codependent streak like I do, if you've had relationships where you've been the one just pushing and fighting and pushing and pouring in everything to keep the relationship going, by the time you hit a healthy relationship, that pattern's gonna need to get healed, because otherwise you're gonna start making plans and start implementing those plans, trying to kind of manipulate your way into that dream relationship, when really all you need to do is talk to your partner. All you need to do is let them know what's going on so that they can get on board, so that you guys can come up with a plan together. Because otherwise you're just setting yourself up for disappointment when you come in and say, hey, why are we not doing this? Why are we not talking more? And they have no idea what the hell you're talking about, because you have not told them that you want to talk more. So with that, that was a huge, huge lesson for me, which just, again, proves that all healers need healing. And some of the most healing moments I've had has been inside of a healthy relationship where I've had someone to mirror that back to me. So talk to your partner. Have an open conversation about what you actually need. If you're starting to feel that need creeping up on you and you don't know exactly how to articulate it, it's okay to say, hey, I don't know how to articulate it, but I'm feeling this. Can we talk about it? Because otherwise it's going to build up and lead to an hour-long conversation where it turns out that your trauma's coming up to say hello. And if you really need help with figuring that out, give me a call. Go to my website, book your free discovery call, because the unconscious mind actually holds a lot of that old patterning that doesn't come up until it's ready to be seen. So if you need help figuring out what that little thing is, I gotcha. Happy healing.